BMW, the ultimate driving machine. BMW, an industry leader in providing luxury vehicles, began to recognize other rival success with greater economies of scale. In order for BMW to remain competitive, they knew they had to increase production volume. BMW's leadership was worried it was being left behind after Volkswagen and Audi purchased Skoda and Seat, which were other European car manufacturers. Mercedes-Benz had beaten them to the launch of the four-wheel drive vehicle. The executive board at BMW believed that there were very few possible purchases that could be made to match what their competition was doing. Rover looked like it was the most attractive acquisition that could be made at that point. By acquiring Rover, BMW believed that they could access new markets through brand attractiveness of Rover's four-wheel drive models, such as the Land Rover and Range Rover, and the growing popularity of the Mini. BMW also believed that the production methods that Rover had learned from Honda could help increase volume in their current productions.
Rover needed new backing and new blood. In 1994, it got them when it passed out of British hands and into BMW's. The Germans hadn't received such a warm welcome from the British since the days of Prince Albert. BMW had effectively replaced Rover as the supplier of executive cars for the middle classes. Surely, if anyone could give Rover a new lease of life, it was them.
What seemed to be a successful move from BMW at the time turned out to be the biggest nightmare that BMW had experienced since almost going bankrupt in 1959. BMW had experienced and enjoyed increasing sales, profits, dividends for over 30 years, and seemed like they were a company that could do no wrong. Did BMW get caught speeding into this acquisition? The deal was done in only 10 days. This hasty decision was made with a fragmented staff at BMW. This internal conflict created mass issues that could have been avoided had the company taken the time to communicate and see that the entire British automobile industry had been in decline since World War II.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Rover was the fourth largest automaker in the world after Detroit's Big Three in 1952. It had significantly declined and dropped to 20th in the world 4 decades later. Rover became known as the English patient for its sickness of consuming cash not fitting to their production.
That was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
BMW thought that Rover would help the company stay competitive with rivals by producing more vehicles. BMW vastly overestimated Rover as a company and had spent way more money than anticipated. Rover and BMW were two different companies under one ownership. They did not produce the same quality of cars. Rover spent little money on research and development, so in turn many of Rover's designs were out of date. Many of the projects were underfunded due to the fact that some BMW directors were not on board with the acquisition, which delayed transfer of resources to Rover to create a suitable vehicle. Instead, BMW invested in factories that were producing old-fashioned vehicles, with an exception to the Land Rover. Competitors used the same chassis products across the board, while Rover did not use any of BMW's components. Leadership had a complete meltdown, with many executives resigning within a year of the merger. More people resigned within that year than in the company's prior 40 years. BMW could not continue to innovate and grow if employees did not believe in the company. Top management was turned upside down. After not seeing results they had hoped for, BMW stripped Rover of their autonomy. With this plan going into effect, BMW terminated appointed chairman of Rover, Walter Zirkus, and others in an attempt to save the Rover car factory Longbridge. Months later, other notable employees left. Bernd Peisterreiter, chairman of BMW AG, left on February 5th after a board meeting. He was the one who persuaded the Quandt family, shareholders who owned 46% of BMW, to purchase Rover. Wolfgang Reitzle, BMW engineering director, was also at the meeting. He used to be Peisterreiter's successor. Reitzle hoped to stop all production with the exception of the Land Rovers and Minis, and therefore closing Longbridge. After things not going his way, Priestley left and swiftly picked up a job at rival Ford, working with cars of the premier automotive group like Aston Martin and Jaguar. BMW took a major hit with these top dogs leaving. The former BMW engineer director was accountable for the design and development of several cars used as benchmarks by other car makers. BMW implemented a misplaced strategy with Rover. Cultures clashed as interactive, diagnostic, and belief controls failed. BMW owned Rover from 1994 to 2000. At this time, Rover operated at a loss over the years. BMW invested billions of dollars into a declining automaker. The Land Rover and the Mini were the only two Rover cars that performed well. In 2000, BMW disposed of Rover with the cars going to Phoenix Venture Holdings. The Land Rover went to Ford. BMW still owns the Mini, which has been successful in its relaunch with BMW by being unique. It is the ultimate driving machine. BMW had the highest profit per car in 2000 in the industry, with about $3,000 net per car. That was about 3 times as much as Ford made. BMW continues to be successful, but purchasing Rover may not have been the best strategic decision.